I will see to it immediately.
Kill. Go, go, go! And hit!
Oh, hell! That's one down. I am moving forward perfectly. Oh, hell! Under the dark. I have been wounded, but we'll continue.
Lock and load!
This is finished here. I will see to it immediately.
Halt! Shoot to kill!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue. continue.
Go, go, go! Lock and load! Sound it!
I am moving forward perfectly. Oh, hell. Excellent. Oh, hell. Excellent.
Halt!
Excellent.
Halt!
I am moving forward perfectly. I have been wounded, but will continue. Yeah. Enemy opposition has been eliminated. I will see to it immediately.
Sound the alarm! Shoot to kill! Lock and load!
Warning, boarding party detected on helicopter deck.
I have been wounded, but will continue.
Shoot to kill! intruder!
Engines engaged.
Kill the intruder!
We've been invaded!
We need reinforcements! Lock and load!
I have been wounded,
Kill the intruder!
but we'll continue. I am moving forward perfectly.
Kill the intruder! Go, go, go! Shoot to kill!
Excellent.
We need reinforcements!
Oh, hell.
Oh, I'm here!
Warning, boarding party detected in Stargate Bay.
This is... Excellent. It is time. That's one down. Oh, hell.
Sound the alarm!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue. I am moving forward perfectly.
Kill the intruder!
Did it!
Okay, operative.
It is time.
We've been invaded.
I have been wounded, but we'll continue. I have been wounded, but we'll continue.
Halt!
Please. I will see to it immediately. Oh, hell! Excellent. I have been wounded, but will come through. This is finished here. I will see to it immediately. I have been wounded, but will continue.
Shoot to kill.
That's one down.
Lock and load.
Excellent. That's one down.
been invaded.
I am moving forward perfectly.
Yeah, this is finished here.
It is time.
Halt! Shoot to kill.
I have been wounded.
Halt!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue.
Go, go, go!
Oh, hell. Excellent. I am moving forward perfectly.
Search the air.
Kill the intruder!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue.
Kill the intruder!
That's one down. I am moving forward. I will see to it immediately.
We've
Sound
been
the alarm.
invaded! Halt!
Oh, hell.
Halt!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue. That's one down. Excellent. Excellent. I am moving forward perfectly. I am...
Oh!
Yeah. This is finished here.
It is time.
We've been invaded.
Halt!
I have been wounded, but we'll continue. I have been wounded. I have been wounded, but we'll continue.
Sound the alarm.
Let's go.
continue.
Halt!
Excellent. I am moving forward perfectly.
This is finished here.
It is time.
Halt!
Oh, hell. Oh, hell.
You fool! You think that by destroying our stronghold you destroy the Order? It's been tried before. You have no idea who is pulling your strings. And for your arrogance and stupidity,
Let's go!
you will die. You will die.
I will see to it immediately. Oh, hell. That's one down.
Shoot to kill.
Oh, hell. Excellent.
Your position has been eliminated.
I am gravely disappointed with the outcome of this operation.
Really? I consider it quite a success.
Are you mad? Steyr, Calver, and Thorson are dead. The biotoxin has been destroyed.
A flesh wound. nothing more. Our other operations are proceeding without impediment. The destabilization of the Asian economy, the terrorist attacks in Africa, the corruption of the American media. All is proceeding according to plan.
But Steyr...
Steyr was a fool. He attempted too much. But even fools can sometimes aid a greater cause.
Explain yourself.
We now know the face of our enemy. Scion has stepped out into the light, and we shall not underestimate their resourcefulness again.
We should be making every effort to destroy Scion.
No. We should allow them to continue, but under our watchful eye. Steyr was not our only agent within Scion.
I see. Then it is your opinion that the Order shall prevail?
Opinion. My brothers, it is our destiny.